We are definitely in the building. This is We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful. Oh, I can't hear you. Where you at?
Check one.
There we
I
go.
am.
There we go. So we have a dynamic show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. We have some great interviews. We have someone with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the country. We're going to talk a little bit about, some of the issues that we're having locally. And then we have another artiste that's going to be on the show. And we're going to talk a little bit about what they have planned and in store. And of course, we have some good news and bad news. And we have, of course, the sizzle. So we have a jam-packed show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't want you guys to go anywhere because I think I got to talk to the ladies and see how their day was. So, without further ado, Sizzle, how was your day?
My day was it was cool, I need to I've been doing all this stuff, like trying to move and all that. So my day is a little hectic, but at the same time, I had to start focusing on my health because I went to the doctors and my doctor said that I am pre-diabetic. So now I know.
Oh, now we got to get on a routine.
Yes.
We got to get back in the gym.
Yeah.
We got to do We Talk Weekly gym situation.
Yeah, so I got to start working on my health.
I gotta send my little system information to.
Yeah.
So I'm getting involved.
Yeah.
I'm getting involved.
I have to actually start exercising and I do a little light stuff, but I got to really get my hands wet and down and dirty and all that. And, so hopefully I'll be giving an update about my day being like full of working out.
Yeah. There you go.
You gonna make it though.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Okay. What about you, classy lady Sparkle? Holla at me.
I hate to sound like the Grim Reaper too, because I had a rough day. Psychologically, I think that I was just thinking about my mom and then just the overwhelming of life. So I am here to tell everybody that when you wake up, that's your gift. If you're able to wake up and be able to say, you know what, I'm going to make this a great day, because it's really up to you. It's up to you. No matter what's going on, this too shall pass. So that's what I kept telling myself. People think that I don't really have those days because they say, oh, you always got a smile on your face. You're always upbeat. But I'm not even going to hold you. Today, I wasn't okay. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow, God willing, I'll see tomorrow. And it's going to be a better day.
That's right.
That's it. So what about you, Sid?
Squeeze in a me day, always got a me time and mental health and all that. That's number one.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay.
What's up with you, C? How was your day?
Yeah, everything was good. Busy. My days are busy. That's all I could do is, my days, nothing interesting for me, I guess. A normal day of work and running around and doing some more research and trying to see how we can take We Talk Weekly to the next level. That's pretty much what I do. What's the next level? What's the next level for We Talk Weekly? Yeah. What y'all think? Holla at me, man. What's the next thing for We Talk Weekly?
I gotta be worldwide, I would say, because we're like slowly infiltrating nationwide. So it gotta be worldwide. We in some little pockets in other countries outside of the states, but gotta be worldwide.
I like that answer, Sizzle.
Yeah, no doubt.
Gotta be worldwide.
And bringing massive change.
Yeah, I know
our
that's
voices just expanding these different territories.
Yeah, I think going into 2024, right? I think we have to. I think we grew a lot since 2023. Right. I don't necessarily have any New Year resolutions. We about a month away, and maybe a little less than a month, right? We're in December now, right?
Yeah.
We're about a month away.
Yeah, it's the second.
Yeah, it's the second.
So
So about 30 days away. And so for me, Yeah, we in a good space.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
What other, and I can say independent radio, podcast, mainstream, what other outlet had every single mayoral candidate on it? Can we drop Mike? There we
I
go.
know.
Drop
I
Mike.
need to
Yeah.
drop Mike.
I'm
video
asking,
clip.
like,
It ain't none. It ain't none.
wow.
Yeah.
It just came to me,
Yeah.
like 2023.
We had all-
Because
we
what
had 'em all.
Sizzle said, then what you said, and then just like light bulb, like,
Yeah.
we are the only one.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get the props that we deserve.
Yo,
We-
that's
We gotta give
major.
ourselves flowers.
Yo,
You know
that's
what I mean?
major.
Like we gotta give ourselves our own flowers.
Yeah, we give ourselves far.
In addition to covering mayoral forums
Yeah.
at other locations,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
behind the scenes they didn't see We
Yeah.
Talk
Things
Weekly
that we
was
told-
there.
Yeah. That's why I said we in those streets.
Wow.
I think that, and I'm excited for the work that we've been putting in, the work that my team has been putting in to continue to scale what We Talk Weekly is doing, our outreach. The touching, the engagement that we have been doing, and I think we just going to do more next year, and I'll probably build a team even more. I spoke to Lauren, and I think I'm gonna put her in a different position soon, because we have to grow. And she has the background, and she's gonna spearhead another
That's right.
arm of We Talk Weekly, and I think that's gonna grow some of the things that we've been planning, that has been on our bucket list, to continue to give voice for the community and give voice for Philly in true journalism's sake, right? And I think that's something that's necessary. So we're going to continue to grow. So I'm excited about that. We're going to do some cannabis stuff, of course,
Okay.
right? We're going to do some cannabis stuff. I'm going to do some fashion stuff. I've been getting a lot of inboxes and conversation, and people want to know what's going on. So I'm going to do something a little bit with that.
Okay.
And we're gonna make some noise in 2024. We've been
lot
doing
of
some things,
noise.
a lot of noise.
Disruptive noise.
There you go. We're gonna disrupt those news deserts, right? Spark social change.
That's right.
That's what We Talk Weekly is. That was pretty good news, don't you think?
That was good news.
You see where I'm going with it?
You got to give me the.
You ready for good news and bad news? No, look
Dolly.
fast. Give it to me early.
All right, y'all. Yes, I am ready, born ready. And this segment was specially prepared for WHYY Nice Initiative. That's news and information community exchange. All right, well, the Philadelphia area has not seen more than an inch of snow in 672 days and counting. My opinion, I'm not upset. According to data collected by the NOAA, this week we had a few flurries, but they didn't last. The last considerable snowfall that blanketed the Philadelphia area was back in January 29, 2022, when forecasters measured nearly 6 inches of snow. So outside of it being 672 days, the last time Philly went this long without snow was over 50 years ago, back in December of 1973.
You know what that means?
What?
We in store for a big one.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
That's what they say.
I'm born and bred. Do you hear me? In
right.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania
right.
Hospital. And I don't know how I love hot weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Constance Clayton was the,
Connie.
she was the superintendent during.
Rest her soul.
Yes,
rest her
she was the
soul.
superintendent around my time, and she was sending us to school. And I'm like, I love warm weather. I did not like that. I still don't like it, and I don't miss the snow. All right, so
I'm sure everybody got a story about how they got caught up in a snowstorm
Yeah.
at school. Like now these kids, it's like as soon as a snowflake hit the ground, they shut the school down.
I
But
know,
we
right?
had to be. I remember they let us out in the snowstorm in '95.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's facts. Facts. I was gonna say, Spark, you
Was
can speak for
mad I
yourself
had to
though,
walk 'em out.
because I love the snow.
I do
I
not.
love the snow.
I'm a summer baby.
When we
though,
were
too.
when we were younger, we used to make like little igloos and
Yeah.
having snow fights and
fights,
snowball fights. Like that was fun.
I-
That was funny.
I participated, but I didn't like it. I remember though, back in the day, we would get on the back of the trucks because it was so much snow. You could ride at the truck, and you would just like what is it, like almost like skiing it.
Yeah,
You just hold
yeah,
on,
that's
and
right.
then because they couldn't go fast,
That's
because
right.
you just get cardboard and that's it, and All right, so for this next story, this is all for my Philadelphians who are fans of Rocky. So Sylvester Stallone will be in Philadelphia on Sunday, December 3rd, to celebrate the opening of the new Rocky shop.
Oh,
This will also mark the official declaration of Rocky Day. So they're giving Rocky or Sylvester Stallone a day.
yeah.
December 3rd. This is from the city of Philadelphia. This event will begin at 11 a.m. at the Parkway Visitor Center. So according to NBC 10, Stallone and Philadelphia Visitor Center Corporation collaborated to open the store next to the Rocky statue outside of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. All kinds of Philly and Rocky merch will be sold.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty
Yes.
cool.
I mean, he really is a staple. Yo, Adrian.
Adrian, yeah, no doubt.
He's a staple, but honestly, can I give a
Yeah, shout
biased opinion?
Go ahead.
He's not from Philly.
He's not.
Will Smith is from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It feels like how you gonna
Will
give
Smith
more
Day. Fresh
homage?
Prince Day.
Yeah, something
Fresh
like
Prince Day.
back in West Philadelphia, born and
raised,
raised on the playground. Like
Yes,
everybody
yeah.
knows.
It's
So-
coming. I'm sure it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. It better come. It better come. I mean, we're going to petition for it.
All right.
It better come. We need a Will Smith Day. Fresh Prince Day.
Okay.
Will
yeah.
Smith. Will Smith is his name, so we want to give him kudos to
Didn't
that.
they
but-
have a Kevin Hart Day or something like that where he came and he it was at Max's or something like that. They had something. Yeah, Will Smith got to have his
Well,
day.
and I think it should be called Fresh Prince of Bel Air Day, like Fresh Prince Day, because
Yeah,
Fresh
Fresh
Prince
Prince.
was
Fresh
from
Prince
Philly
of
in
Overbrook.
this character. Like, if
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
giving Rocky and not
That's true.
Sylvester the character, let's give Fresh
that's true.
Prince the character because
No,
he
no.
came from Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree, 100%.
Absolutely.
so
100%.
yeah, they should do that.
Yeah, 100%. I like it.
All right, so all right, okay, y'all some good news. Now
Yeah,
here goes
yeah.
some. I don't know. This is good bad. This is good bad. Yeah, this is your good and your bad mixed together. See, and I want to know what y'all think. You and Sizzle. All right. Do you know what a shiesty is?
Shiesty.
All right, a shiesty. Now,
Yeah, no doubt.
shiesty is a ski mask, right? City Council has passed the bill and approved legislation to ban shiesties, aka ski masks, in public. You can no longer wear it at schools, daycares, rec centers, parks, public transportation, or inside city-owned buildings. Now, I'm born and raised in Philly, and we use the word shiesty for another meaning. So I wondered where the name came from. I ain't know. So I talked to my nephew, and he says that it's from the rapper, like C just said, Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty's from Memphis, who's currently incarcerated, and he wore a ski mask in his music videos. So they started to call it the Pooh Shiesty mask. So Nike also offers this mask for the retail of $50.
Who?
Nike.
Oh, Nike.
Nike, all these other places, but Nike basically is what they're wearing it for. So these masks are considered a fashion statement piece. So those who violate the new ban will be fined $250. The bill specifies if involved with a crime wearing a ski mask, a hood, a mask, a balaclava, or any other device.
Balaclava, yeah.
Oh, what did I say?
It's all good. Go ahead. No.
Balaclava.
Balaclava, yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's all
see,
good.
I
No.
just see.
No, it's all good.
That just goes to show I don't know high end stuff. All right. All right.
I give you a round of applause for
All
that.
right,
Right
Okay, so anything that's concealing or covering any portion of the face with the specific intent to intimidate or threaten another person or conceal their identity, they're going to be charged $2,000.
We're going to talk a little bit about that, but go ahead.
All right, so there is an exception for cold weather or religious activities.
Which we're in right now, but go ahead.
Tara Schiraldi of the Defenders Association called the ban on face coverings like ski masks nothing. She says nothing more than another way to go after young black and brown people. The criminalization of fashion popular with black and brown youths puts Philadelphia in a terrible company. And she also said that, City Council says it's public safety issues and lawlessness. lawless. Like they want it for public safety. The bill passed by a 13-2 margin. Now, council member Jamie Gauthier, she opposes the legislation. She says that it now goes to the desk of Mayor Jim Kenney. He has not spoken about whether he'll sign the measure or not.
Interesting. You know, the funny thing about Jamie Gauthier, right? She, it's crazy because half the time I agree with her, half the time I don't, because she's for legislation with the sugar tax. I'm not for that at all.
Okay.
She's
Opposing this.
which I'm 100%. I don't want to say 100% because I understand why, right? However, I understand why they want to put the legislation in there. However, there needs to be a more defining written idea or construct of what this is, right? Or how you're actually defining what a ski mask is, right? Because if I don't look like you, right, and I'm wearing it for a religious purpose, well, if you are interpreting the law, right, you can then say, well, my interpretation of what you're wearing, it coincides or aligns with this new bill that has been passed.
Well, they do mention religious activities.
What if you don't know that I'm religious? Right? And so if I'm wearing something that seems to be a covering or a ski mask, then we're going to have a problem, right? And so I think it's dangerous to start creating bills and things like this. We need more defining.
But give an example in this. How can you define it more? You can't. So
Yeah.
I mean,
it's up to interpretation, you know, and
It
which
really
is the
is.
problem. Because if we're already talking about, you know, how people look, all right, we had the new incumbent, what's the incumbent mayor, the mayor, what is it? Mayor incumbent?
Mayor-elect.
Mayor-elect, thank you. That came on and she was talking about, you know, what this new stop and frisk idea is, right? Constitutional stop and frisk.
or she calls it Terry stops.
She called it Terry stops, right? We
Tomato,
had
tomato.
tomato. Exactly. Thanks for that, because we had another candidate on that said literally it's the same, right?
Right.
And so based on that, we know that stop and frisk, however you define what that means, you have certain
It's perception.
policemen, that will stop you based on what they perceive you're doing as being illegal activity or not. The assumption, right? And so what do you do or how do you define that? That's based on the person who's actually making the assumption. So that's the problem that I see when it comes to something like this, because it's not just a black and white situation.
Right.
However, the reason I'm on the fence, because I understand, especially our senior citizens, right?
Right.
Our citizens of wisdom, right, as I call them, they're nervous. They're scared. I get it. It's just unfortunate that it's only us who's wearing them.
Right.
Right.
Well, do we have a clip of another mayoral candidate that was here on a question we asked?
We sure do. Let's take a look at it.
All right.
Wow.
It's real. You can literally go on right now and they'll say somebody just got killed the other day. The picture of them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think one of your more controversial proposals is the ski mask ban. So can you talk about your motivation behind that and the how you would pull that off?
Yeah, man. Look, ski mask thing is real, right? And it's not just ski mask. It's any face or head coverings where you can't be identified. You got all these folks talking about, oh, we're going to invest in cameras. Okay, these young boys going to throw a ski mask on. Your camera ain't no good. But then you got city council passing legislation where you basically don't need license plates to ride around. So how are we going to catch people? You see what I'm saying? So it's like we have to stop the regressive policies, but then we also have to fully explain what we're talking about. So ski mask is head coverings, face coverings where you can't be identified by a camera, because why are you hiding, right? And some are saying, oh well, that's going to be, you're violating someone's rights. No, my rights are being violated when I'm at a gas station and 3 or 4 dudes jump out of the car with ski masks on and my daughter's in the back seat.
100%.
You know, like you ain't saying that then.
Yeah, I want to push back a little bit on that, because when you say face coverings, what comes to me are my community, like the Islamic community, and I look at the sisters in garb and you know, so what would you say to that? Because I think the problem becomes when policy is written, there's shades of gray within that, right? And so how would you make sure that people like the Islamic community, which Philadelphia has the biggest,
Yes,
right?
we do.
How would you make sure that people like that aren't targeted by default because of the way that this is written?
Absolutely. So religious beliefs, that's something completely different. What I mean is surgical mask, because now what they're doing is surgical mask and they'll bring the hood down to here.
So that was a little bit, and you can find that on We Talk Weekly. We had the opportunity to interview Ammon Brown, who was a mayoral candidate for this run. So you can go to We Talk Weekly on our YouTube and find that actual video and listen to the entire interview. And I played that because I wanted to give preference to the story that you gave. And we actually been talking about this a long time. What's interesting about this, though, Sparkle, is it said that he was the one that brought up the legislation. But it looks like they're giving credit to someone else for it. I don't know, but that's what it appears to be. So we can get that cleared up, right? So I just want to make sure we lay out these facts, right?
Right.
And so I've been a huge proponent of making sure that if this is going to be a legislation, they need to make sure that one is fair and they keep in consideration there are people whose daily, everyday activity, how they go through life, their way of life is wearing a face covering, right? And most of them look like us. So that's
Here's my question though, and I don't have what that looks like in regards to how do you get fined. So
yeah.
if you, I know I named the places that you're not supposed to wear them at, but if you are literally walking down the street and you have one on and you're going home and it's just like 0 below and a police officer's driving by, can he say, here's a fine for $200, $250? Can that happen?
I guess we gotta find out.
Yeah, because I my son, he drives a motorcycle and he's a roofer, so I bought him a Dickie or a Carhartt long thing because to keep him warm,
Right.
and then he wears like the face mask for his mouth and his head, and then he puts another hat over top because when they're on the roof, you even feel the wind more when you're up there.
Yeah.
And then he drives the motorcycle when he's going home. And it helps his face stay warm when he puts his helmet on. If I had to tell him, like, you can't wear that no more. He was like, I know, Mom. And so if he's walking down the street or he's like, well, I take it off before I go in the stores and stuff. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a little bit more credit to the boys in blue, because I'm sure that they can discern whether it's for work purposes or you're riding or something like that. So I'm being optimistic about them making right choices as it relates to enforcing this. But you said it still got to go through our current mayor first, and he didn't sign off anything. And so, okay, no doubt.
Okay, well, that was your good news and your bad news from Classy Lady Sparkle. And again, this segment was specially prepared for WHYY, the Nice Initiative News and Information Community Exchange.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
I don't want you to go anywhere because when we come back, we got a dynamic interview. Our guest is already in the building, so we're going to get this gentleman set up, and then we're going to come right back. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back, y'all.
What's going on, you guys? This is Bridget Kelly, and you are locked into We Talk Weekly.
We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregg and the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Classy Lady
We
Sparkle.
got a lady that's died in the building. Let me open this up. She coming in. You know I gotta put you on Front Street if you come in late. She walks in late, so I had to make sure she on this camera so everybody can see that she just walked in. You know.
Well,
And so-
she here.
yeah, she here. So look, I want to make sure, Spark. You know, I'm gonna put you on mic 4 because we have a gentleman that we got put on mic 3. No, you know what I think is right. Let me see if we get a cent. Yeah, we can. I think you should be all right.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. He's getting set up. No, we good. So we're definitely good. And so we talk weeklies after the talk. We got a dynamic interview, and we're going to make sure that we're going to cover some dynamic topics, and we're not going to kick you out. You know, if you want to stay for the the rest of the show, you're more than welcome to stay because you came kind of early. I see that temple on your arm. We're going to talk a little bit about TU. So
Saved my life.
no doubt. So who's gonna we got Classy Lady Sparkle, so she's gonna tell us who do we have today?
All right. Today we have the incomparable Tony Dax King in the studio. Tony's core values are family is your first fraternity and your parents are your first professors. Tony was born and bred in Philadelphia and proudly received his education from the Philadelphia public school system. He's a Temple alum, a father, a husband, son, author, athlete, and an extraordinaire of music, movies, and politics. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Mr. Tony Dax King.
What's up, my brother? What's up?
No, thank you. What's up to y'all guys? Yo,
Hello.
listen to me carefully.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Please
Thank you.
keep doing what you're doing. It's so beautiful seeing y'all guys sticking together. Lauren, Sparkle. Oh my God, it's so great to see y'all still hanging in there. Don't give up. Don't give up. Thank you so much for being a platform for the people who have not yet been elected,
There you go. Yeah.
because
Gotcha.
we're still part of the process.
Yes.
An important part of the process.
Yes.
I'm going to shut up. I feel like I'm about to explode.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a lot to talk
So
about.
much information,
Yeah.
so little time.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in there about to explode all
Yeah.
these issues, the
Yeah.
A1C, the shiesties. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. No doubt. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that, but I want to jump into, you and I had conversations. First of all, we go back, TU days, Temple University, and I think that you have. Let me see. We got a little bit of time to scrunch all this up. But what I will say is that you're proud. Alma mater is Temple University. Owls are everywhere. One that was part of a historic Black Greek organization also, right? And I want you to give, kudos to that because I'm for, we say the Divine Nine, but, we include all of the Black Greek letter organizations, which I want to be specific in saying Black Greek letter
Black
organization.
BGLO.
Yeah,
That's
for
what
sure,
it's
for
called.
sure. So let's talk a little bit about that organization, and then we're going to jump into, some of the things that you're doing, and we're going to get into some of those topics.
Yeah. I'll just keep it short. Basically, 35 years. You were around when the TOEFI first began. This year, November 2nd, 35 years.
Wow.
Two milestones. Library of Congress registration this year. And somebody's completing the Wikipedia for us.
That's big.
Extremely important.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah.
A Wikipedia for a TOEFI.
Wow.
It's about time.
Yeah.
The first high school college fraternity, dual high school college fraternity in the world.
Yeah, that's big.
In the world, we're the Studio 54 of the BGLOs, the Black Greek Letter Organization.
No doubt.
Shout out to Skeef. Shout out to School Days, released February 1988. A Different World. All of those shows, house music, all of those shows
no doubt.
were the background for the founding of a TOEFI.
Fantastic.
Oh my God. Let me shut up.
No, fantastic. No, that's fantastic. You know, I think it's important, especially as we talk about amplifying Black voices, right? And giving, you know, platform to organizations who are doing good for the community, who are doing great for the communities and people who look like us. So that's very important, you know, to acknowledge. But I want to jump right into, you know, you said that you were getting excited and you know, stuck in your seat as it relates to some of the issues and topics that we were talking about, specifically in Philadelphia, right? One of the things that you yourself have been heavily involved is trying to shape some of these policies and, you know, legislation based around the PPA.
Oh.
So, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that because I know that you've had some personal bouts with them and you've been fighting, writing your own kind of, you know, narrative and going into, I mean, you've been doing a lot as it relates to that. So I want to talk to you a little bit about, one, what do you think the current problem is with the PPA? And why do you think that there was a conversation with, you know, people amongst some of the younger generation, but not just the younger generation, and the fact that they are probably one of the most hated Philadelphia, you know, organizations, right? And so why do you think that is, and what do you think we can do, you know?
Okay, simply put, the people are at a complete disadvantage against them.
Right.
Complete different disadvantage against them. And all the laws are structured to benefit the PPA, not the people.
Okay.
The four major problems that we have is they give you 21 days to come up with thousands of dollars, but they get 30, 40, 80, 90 a year to go after you for money, or more than that. They get more than a year to go after you for money.
Yeah.
But we only get 21 days to come up with money. And if you don't, they get rid of your car.
That's something that I always had a challenge with. How can they take your property? And it's not just Philadelphia, I'm sure, but how are they able to kind of just not only take your property, but auction it? That's the thing. And then you still have to pay the fees. So I'm just trying to understand.
It's legal racketeering.
Wow.
They're able to do it because the city and the state are in it together.
Okay.
The city and the state are working together as legalized racketeering. And the people are at a complete disadvantage.
Right.
Complete disadvantage. In order to win against them, and I just won.
I know. I want you to talk a little bit about that, because that's where I was leading into, because you had a big case that you just kind of won something, you know. So I want you to get into that and talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
It was a win for the people.
Right. Okay.
Basically, it was a red light. It's a red light intersection.
Okay.
And it's against the law for PPA and the city to collect money at that intersection because the red light signs were blocked by trees. So I'm going to have to, so I won. Okay. I won one specific case dealing with that situation where someone was being charged for these tickets, and he did go through the light.
Yeah.
But the sign should have warned him that there was a red light camera at the corner. That's the purpose of the red light signs.
I see.
The law says, if the sign is obscured, the ticket is invalid. You can't collect money if you didn't follow the law.
Got you.
And the state has to follow the law just like the citizens have to follow the law. And the state has to comply with the law in order to get money from you, get money from me, get money from Lauren. They first have to comply for the law. So like the judge told the prosecutor in court, whether he whether the red light was ran or not, it's not why we're here. We're here because the city did not follow the law. So, but we have from June to 2023, when I discovered the sign was blocked. As a matter of fact, I have a photo.
Okay.
This is an example. Are we able to see this?
Yep.
And what intersection is this again?
31st Street and Spring Garden.
Okay.
See, this is an
Yeah,
example.
it is. Wow, that
See an
is covered.
example?
Yeah.
Exactly. So from June, so that sign has been like that from, well, I discovered it around August, but that sign has been like that since June 2023 to December 2023. So that's 6 months. So I'm going to get an attorney to see if he wants to do a class action to see if he can
Get everyone who
get
did,
all of
yeah.
that money back from the PPA that they were
right.
collecting illegally,
Okay.
because people guilt or innocent is neither here nor there.
So you're saying that they're doing illegally, and so we like to say allegedly, but you're saying that you have some factual information that warrants you to say that they clearly didn't do their due diligence in making sure that they're
Yes,
enforced.
the judge reversed.
Okay.
The judge reversed the decision
Right.
of the PPA.
Wow.
The PPA.
That's pretty big precedent. Yeah.
It is from June to. This is why we can't win, because once you do win,
Everything retroactive.
everything
yeah.
everything retroactive. So this 6 months of red light tickets. Can you imagine that? Each red light ticket is $100. So you do the math. They get like 20 red light tickets a day. Let's say you get 20 a day, 10 a day,
Right.
times 6 months.
I'm sure it's more than 10. I'm sure. it's more than
Exactly. So I'm going to explore that.
10. Okay.
Okay, so the next thing, you can move on to the next topic,
Yeah.
or you can ask me more
No,
questions.
no,
'cause
'cause
I
I-
don't want to filibuster the conversation with
No,
this
no,
issue.
understood, and
Yeah.
we'll get in because we'll have you back on the show because I do want to, expound on a conversation about the PPA. This is one of the conversations that I hear a lot of people, having issues with because it appears that there's a bully in town that it's nothing that you can do.
There's nothing you can do.
And it's frustrating, especially for me. Of course, I had bouts with the PPA, but I have family who work with the PPA.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, man, it's nothing they can do. But it's kind of like, how can I have a position against organization that some of my family work for, right? But
It's not personal.
yeah, absolutely, it's not personal. He says it's not personal, no doubt. So I want to jump right into. Thanks for that. We're gonna put that in the parking lot real quick because I want to jump into some of the other conversations that you've been having and doing a lot of your due diligence on. We talked a little bit about local issues that's happening. I want to get more into kind of like international relations, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And so we know that there's a war that's happening. And thankfully that finally a ceasefire, right? From my understanding. Finally.
The ceasefire ended, I think.
Huh?
They
Wait.
started firing bombs again
Oh, wow.
because a deal.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah? Oh, wow.
Why?
I heard about it today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of breakdown in negotiations, and then so boom, they started firing bombs again.
So, wow. So,
I brought 3 exhibits.
So,
Okay?
so I want you to get into. I want you to get into that. One of the issues that I have is the women and babies.
Yes.
And that just kills me. And it seems that if just humanity alone is kind of like you would just kind of pull back, right? But I understand the idea of retaliation. But let's talk a little bit about that because you've been doing a lot of your due diligence and your work on it. Yeah. Okay. So what
right
are we
here.
seeing right here?
This right here is one of my favorite photos, and this is why Israel cannot win this war.
Okay.
Because at this point, it's all about the kids.
Yeah.
It's all about the kids. It's all about the babies
Yeah, it's them babies.
being in the rubble. That's who it's about, and the world understands that, and the entire world is protesting.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to kind of bring you on, because I seen you protesting. I seen
Yes.
you out there in the streets with the bullhorn, and you're out there and you've been, you know, there's this other part of you that we didn't get into, and you can kind of just mention it in terms of you running for a certain position in Philadelphia, political position. But I want to know, what do you think how all of this started, because you have an interesting take and you did a lot of research based around this. So I want you to kind of, you know, factually kind of walk us through some of this stuff and what are the solutions based around this.
All
stuff
right,
here?
so listen, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you want me to answer the October 7th, or you want me to answer how the whole Palestinian, Israeli-Palestinian thing got started?
Where do you think he should start, Sizzle? 7th?
Yeah.
Start from the 7th.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people who are debating against how it actually kind of like where this thing initiated, right? Because it's, you know, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, tomato. But let's start with the 7th, what sparked everything. Let's start there.
Well, my theory, which I haven't really heard, but now it's starting to creep up now. The
Right.
theory that I had was it was a setup.
What was the setup specifically?
October 7th, leaving the border not well protected
Okay.
as a way to actually start a war.
So this is your theory.
That's my theory.
Okay.
Okay. All
That's
right.
my
Can you
theory.
explain that?
Yeah.
That are, so it reminds me. Well, I'll just stick with that. To me, it was a setup because Israel has the most advanced.
Yeah.
They're the most funded foreign country that the U.S. helps. They get about $3 or $4 billion a year. They have the most advanced technology. They have cameras looking into Palestinian homes. The only way that this could have happened if it was a setup as a provocation for a war. It's the only thing that makes sense. And now, just recently, there's reports saying the New York Times
Okay.
saying that the IDF actually had notice and warning about this, but they didn't do anything. Now, the New York Times, they don't print anything that doesn't have validity to it.
Right.
They don't print anything that has validity to it. Okay,
Right.
and so they're saying that they knew about this coming. They knew about this. They're saying that the IDF knew that this was possible. It's, to make a long story short, if you're living next to a thief and you leave your door open,
Right.
what do you think is going to happen? The thief is going to come in and steal. Well, that's what Israel did. They left their door open, knowing that something was possible. And they sacrificed their own citizens to start a war.
And this is you're saying that this isn't your theory. You're saying that this is
That's my theory, but the fact the New York Times found that they actually knew about this. New York
the
Times
attack on the 7th.
They knew they had plans.
Okay.
They had plans, but did not act on it. This is what the New York Times reported, and this is weeks after I've already stated in many Twitter and many tweets that I believe it was a setup. And they have the most advanced technology than any other country. They're more more than half of the U.S. foreign aid budget goes to Israel.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. So as we talk weekly, right? You know, we always say that, you know, and we sit on it, and we say that we're all about solutions, right? We're
Yes.
solutions based. We do solutions based journalism, not just pointing the fingers on who's right, who's wrong, right? Because that's a spiral, a rabbit hole that I have been hearing from, local news all the way to CNN,
Yes.
MSNBC. Who started?
Yeah.
Where did it start? Mark Lamont Hill. He gave his position on what started X, Y, and Z. For me, I want to know what you believe is the best idea to end it.
To end it?
Yeah,
All right.
to end it.
I have three ideas to end it. The first idea, my first opinion to end it, the UN must become relevant. The UN's not relevant.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Well, the things that they propose don't happen.
Mm-hmm.
The war in 1948 started because the partition from the UN in 1947 didn't happen.
Right.
anymore.
I want people to follow you. What war in 1948 specific?
Okay, I forgot the name of the war,
Right,
but
right.
there was a war in 1948.
That
There was
that initiate. We're
that-
talking about. Let's keep it in the context so people kind of know, because they'll try to look up all
Okay.
type of wars, like you know what I mean. But the war that initiated
That was the
the
Israeli.
Israeli, right? That initiated this issue between Palestine and Israel, right? Oh, go ahead.
Well, that happened because the UN's plans failed.
Right. Okay.
It was the UN. It was the UN's plans that failed that caused the 1948 war.
Okay.
The UN had partitioned and the borders of everything,
Right,
and
right.
it didn't happen. They couldn't agree, and these people just got fed up, and they call them Arab nationalist militants. Just had enough.
Okay.
And I want to say another thing too. All this talk about getting rid of Hamas is just nonsense. Because you can't get rid of Hamas. You can't. It's impossible. Because Hamas comes from different parts of different Arab nations.
Okay.
It's no different than, for example, 9/11.
Okay.
You had people wanting to join the military because of what happened at 9/11. Oh, I want to go into the Marines. Well, the same thing happens in the Arab nations.
Okay.
When they saw what was going on in Palestine, people from the other Arab nations joined Hamas.
I got you. Okay.
So this whole idea is bombing this. We're gonna find Hamas. No, Hamas is starting here in the United States as well, because there's citizens here in the United States who want to get on a plane, fly over there, and help Palestine. So how are you going to get rid of Hamas over here? Hamas is developing here too.
Interesting.
So the whole idea of getting rid of Hamas is ridiculous. You're actually sowing the seeds. You're actually planting more seeds for Hamas. The more babies that die, the more kids that die, you're watering more and more and more flowers.
So, all right. So you mentioned the UN. You mentioned Hamas, right?
Yes.
And what's the other one? You said it's three.
The other solution.
Right, the other solution.
solution is the Arab nations need to unite.
Okay.
They need to unite. They're not united.
Okay.
They do little things to help. Borrow a cup of sugar here, or we'll lend you a cup of sugar. That kind of thing with neighbors. We'll lend you a cup of sugar, or we'll lend you a loaf of bread. No, they need to come together and give ultimatum to the United States and Israel. Do this or,
Right.
for example, Yemen. They just hijacked a Israeli ship out in the ocean. Completely took it over. Or Lebanon, Hezbollah, firing missiles, at Israeli soldiers on the border. No, you guys got to come together. All of you guys, got to come together at a table and say, United States and Israel, if you don't do this, we are going to do this, or else.
Right.
And the other thing is, 2 or 3 of the superpowers have to get together and give the United States and Israel an ultimatum. But that buddy system, Israel, United States, this thing is going to continue because, like Biden said, if Israel didn't exist, they would have to create it.
Yeah, and there was a poll that came out which they put out a poll that was asking and I'm paraphrasing something around the lines of how do you think President Biden is handling the war? 60% of the older generation, older population said they think, he's doing okay. 20% of the people, like the younger generation, pretty much was like, yo, he's doing a horrible job, period. Like, they don't agree with what's going on, right?
Only 20%.
It was only 20. Well, I got the number. I'll make sure that I'll get the facts, but it was 20%. 20% of the people approve, the younger generation approve of how he's handling it, right? But 60%
Right.
for older generation, older population, right? And so, why do you think it's this huge divide between the two, right? There's this huge disconnect on how we perceive politics or the president doing in foreign policy are handling certain things. Why do you think it's such a divide between the two?
You know why? Because of stations like We Talk Weekly.
Okay.
The people no longer have to depend on the 6 o'clock news
got
to
you.
get their information.
Got you.
Their information is coming directly to them unfiltered. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We Talk Weekly. They don't have to wait for CNN. They don't have to wait for MSNBC. They don't have to wait for McNeil and Lara. They don't have to wait for Dan Rather. They don't have to wait for all of those Yuki Washingtons. And nobody has to wait for their news. Nobody has to wait for the facts anymore. And that's why there's a big, disapproval.
Yeah, and it's hard to. Oh, here we go, right here. I just pulled it up. So pretty much it says the approval rate, handling of Israel Hamas war, all voters. It says approved 34% of all voters, disapprove 56% of all voters. Then it says age 65 plus, approve 53%, disapprove 41%. 18 to 34, approve only 20%.
Right.
Disapprove 70%.
All age groups disapprove.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
To make it, all age groups disapprove.
So what this
You know why? You know why?
Right.
Because you can't tell people what they're seeing with their own eyes.
Right,
Is
right.
not real. And that's what they're telling you. And that's what government does, Mr. Gregory. Government tells you what you're seeing and what you're reading is not real.
Right.
That's why education is so important. Is the government tells you, the citizen, what you read is not real.
Right,
what
right.
you're looking at is not real. It's only an imagination.
Right.
That's what they do. That's what they do all day long.
Yeah. So where do we go from here? It's the top of the hour, real quick. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and a beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and a beautiful
Classy Lady
and a
Sparkle.
beautiful. So where do we go from here? Because literally the country is divided with this. I want to know how because and it's getting, it's bleeding. The vitriol is bleeding in the communities now, right? You have people who have been friends, Jewish people, and people who have been friends
happened to
for
me.
years,
Happened to me.
are splitting and dividing and no longer friends anymore because of this, right? And so, how do we remedy and fix what's going on that's here locally? How do we do that?
Charles, the only way to fix this is for the Arab countries to right the wrongs, or the UN to right the wrongs.
Right.
The buddy system between Israel and the United States is not going to change. It's not.
Right.
And the UN has to step up. We are seeing for our own eyes. We're witnessing with our own eyes how ineffective the UN actually is.
So what? I want to jump back into. Wow.
Oh,
You know,
by the way, did
yeah.
I share with you the letter that actually started the whole Palestinian-Israeli conflict?
You did not.
Here it is. This is how it looks, just in case you want to know. Signed by.
Hold on. Wait. Before you're saying that this is a letter that did what?
This is actually the letter that started the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
And where is this information? Like, where did you get this information from? Like, wow.
It's called the Balfour.
Okay.
It's called the Balfour Declaration
Okay. Okay.
from November 2nd, 1917.
Wow. Okay.
Signed by Arthur James Balfour, a letter to the king.
Hmm.
See, this started during the Ottoman Empire. See, the reason why is okay. Let me briefly explain. The reason why we're having this Israeli-Palestinian conflict is because the Ottoman Empire controlled that entire area. Ottoman Empire was Muslim,
Okay.
and the war that the Ottoman Empire lost was against three powers: France, Italy, and England. France, Italy, and England. France, Italy, and England.
Okay.
During the war, Ottoman Empire conceded the territory of Israel. During a war, when you're fighting, there's some places you just give up.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all got that, y'all got that, y'all got that.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, Britain was made the administrator of that territory.
Gotcha.
At around 1917, Britain decided, let's make that a national home for the Jewish people. Around 1917, because prior to that, it was called Mandatory Palestine. You never heard mandatory? Yeah.
I never heard of
it.
that
was called
before.
Mandatory Palestine. That was the name. Mandatory Palestine. And then Britain was administrating the whole plot of land, and they decided, we're getting a lot of pressure from Zionist people. Okay, let's make this a national home for Jewish people.
Right.
And that's how this whole thing began, because that was all Islamic territory. Ottoman Empire was Islamic, and it was just a small minority of Jewish people living there.
Briefly, tell what does the Zionists? What is their role?
They're okay. Zionists are people are a part of the Jewish people who are a lot more aggressive about land, about settlements. They feel it's their right. They have a right to be
Entitled.
Entitled to be on those lands.
Right. But I mean, again, we try our best to do it like factual information. So I don't. I'll say allegedly to that because I want to make sure that we can do our due diligence when it comes to that. But what I will say is that this is an unfortunate situation, and even we talk weekly. We have some great Jewish friends, and we have people who support us, right? And then we have. My family is Islamic, and it's, I'm seeing a big, head bumping moment of, issues that's spilling over into even Philadelphia, right? And I'm seeing even synagogues. I'm seeing synagogues, being targeted who has nothing to do with anything, right? And I'm seeing, people, pointing fingers at other Muslims like, you're the devil because your people come from Palestine, or you maybe from Hamas or something like that. And it's just, for me, it's frustrating because, we try our best, we like the problem solvers. We try our best to like, be the in between and say, okay, well, there's issues over here, and we get it. So where are we at right now? How can we fix it right now? What can we do right now? If we take out, we talked about the UN, we talked about, the war, we talked about, being able to potentially have major not companies, but major countries to try to get on board and on the same page. But, when I talk locally, it's like, what can we do locally outside of what's going on over there? I'm talking about, the feelings of us here and let's just Philadelphia, not the UN. I don't care about the UN at this point. I care about the people in Philly, right? So that's my position. How can, what should we do right now? What things can be put in place to say, hey, we understand what's going on in the country. Well, not in the country, but internationally. But we're here in Philadelphia and we have to try our best to push the needle forward together because we all feel, most of us all agree that we need to cease fire and stop killing babies, right?
Well, Charles,
We can agree to that, right?
Of
We can
course.
agree that, okay, all right.
but people already started doing something,
Right.
which is protesting.
Right. Gotcha.
People already started doing something. And unfortunately, this topic is a geopolitical topic.
Right.
Way out of the reach of everyday people going to work every day.
Right.
Who are thinking about feeding their families.
Right.
Not geopolitical stuff that's been going on for the last 100 years.
Right. Gotcha.
But people have been acting. For example, me, my pen is my sword now.
Yeah.
My pen is my sword. Protesting. People are doing something.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Right,
They're
right.
trying to get on the right side of not the law, the right side of history.
Okay.
That's what people are doing now.
Right. No doubt. Well, there you have it. We're gonna bring you back on. We're gonna try to, because we've been trying to follow this, and I don't know, and just being transparent, I don't know enough to have a conversation about a country that I'm not even in, right? And so a lot of this is just, what the heck is going on over there, and why is it so prevalent here? Right? Because it's literally like the war is happening here. I mean, I've been seeing a lot that's going on in Philadelphia right now. That's, even, our mayor-elect at this point, she was called to task over holding up a sign, I stand with Israel, right? That's her right to kind of do, right? However, she's supporting a community of Philadelphia, which is predominant, I won't say predominantly, but it's a lot of Muslims here, right? And so a lot of Muslims felt slighted with that, right? And so where do we go from here, pretty much? And that's what we always say. But that's kind of rhetoric, but we'll get back into a conversation. But we have our next guest right here. You're more than welcome to stay around. You want to hang around?
I'll hang around for a minute.
All right, you hang around for a minute, no doubt. So I don't want you to go anywhere. When we come back, we got someone with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and we're going to talk a little bit about the work that this gentleman has been doing. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this. LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and a beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and a beautiful.
Lady Estat.
And we're here today. We have someone with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Sizzle, you ready? So why don't you let us know who do we have today?
We have Mr. Yusha Assad. He is a creative, lyrical, and insightful storyteller, vocalist with over 20 years of experience in writing and recording music. A 2016 Source magazine unsigned hype, he has opened up for major artists such as The Game, K. Michelle, Brandy, Scarface, Ja Rule, August Alsina, and others. He is inspired by artists such as Jay Z, Nas, Sam Cooke, and Lauryn Hill. With over 5 years as an educator, he is passionate about educating the youth. He is also the CEO of With Great Care LLC, an international platform curator of entertainment, business, and education. And he is the brainchild of Revive DC and the Hope Campaign. So let's give a warm welcome for Mr. Yusha Assad.
My brother, how are you?
Man, I'm super blessed. How y'all
Yes.
doing? Thank y'all for having me.
Hello.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming to the show, my brother. It's been, it's been a wild time, and so we're here to, talk to the people, and I appreciate you coming because when you talk about storytellers, that's what this whole thing is about. Talking to the people, right? And
Sure.
communicating to the people on the levels that they are. So the first thing, that I like to do when it comes to the people are, ask, how are you? How are you, my friend? Tell us what's going on with you.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, I got to sit backstage when I came in and heard the dynamic conversation y'all were having about what was happening overseas. And so, first of all, I just think that's dope that you're using your platform to discuss things that are really relevant and happening in the world. But I'm well, man. Thanks for asking. I'm well. Um, I always say that I'm great. I'm working and winning, and I'm just in a really good posture today, man. I've had some prayer time, some good time with the Most High, and the spirit is settled. So I'm well overall, man. Thanks for asking.
For sure, for sure. Peace, King. Peace, King.
Yeah,
2016, unsigned hype
for
source.
sure.
Let's talk a little bit about that because that was something that, every artist wanted to be a part of.
Yeah.
Right. And so tell us about that experience and how you felt when, you got the nod for that and all that good old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super dope. So I dropped the project in 2015 called With Great Care to Dream, and was able to connect with a sister at the time who was actually a Muslim sister who was a writer for the Source, who suggested that I be nominated as one of the unsigned hypes that year, along with a brother out of Buffalo by the name of Kardil Latif. So it was a really, really dope experience because, first of all, it's a blessing to be recognized in that way. But then secondly, you kind of get put in this cohort in a sense of like these really super dope artists who are moving forward in their career. And I knew Kardil Latif before that just because of the work he had been doing in the community. So it was kind of almost like a double win to be recognized, but to also be recognized in relation to the homie, to the brother. So listen, The Source is a magazine that's been around for years, right? They've been a staple in the hip hop community. And they've utilized their platform to give hip hop a space and to give it voice. So was humbled, blessed to receive it.
I mean, you worked with what? K. Michelle, Ja Rule. You worked with some majors, right?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be in a lane where you're working with some of the quote unquote A-list of hip hop, A-list of R&B? How
Yeah.
does that feel? Yeah.
When you first hit the stage, it's nerve wracking.
Yeah, for sure.
You get all the jitters, man. You feel all of the what they call the butterflies, man. Because these are major artists, A-list artists who you get a chance to open up and perform for, and their crowd is there. I think maybe one of the biggest opportunities is I opened up for K. Michelle, and it was her birthday, so the crowd they were there. They were rocking. Seventh Streeter was there that day. Ro James was there that day, and I got to open up and I got to set the tone. And I know my stomach was like, it was doing numbers. But what happens is when you really love it and you really believe that you're supposed to be there, you do it scared. You do it anyway. And the more you do it, the more you push through that feeling, the more comfortable you get with just, understanding that you are where you're supposed to be. And I think that's the feeling that curates that confidence in you is when you have the belief that like, nah, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a question for you. Hi, it's
Yeah.
Sparkle.
Hey, Sparkle.
Hi. So your music is like I was listening to it and it's like storytelling and it's inspiring with greatness. What influences or inspires your songwriting the most?
Uh, it's the belief that when you put words on music, you create future. I wrote a song when I was 18 years old that came true by the time I was 24. And
Nice.
that gave me evidence or proof that, like, yo, when you start writing, you put things out into the universe and you create for yourself. And so once I understood that and believed it and tracked it throughout hip hop history, like, I even teach this to kids. I just say, look at what Tupac was writing about before he got killed. Look at what Biggie named his first album, Ready to Die. Then he's gone. And then his second project is Life After Death. Look at what, XXX, I don't know if I ever say his name right, Tentacion was talking about before he died. Like, be careful. And because I know that, I try to write to create the future I desire to see. I don't want to put anything into the universe that I don't want to come true in my life.
I like that. I like that you said that. There has been, constant conversation based around, you know, uh, the idea of words and spells, so to speak. And this issue with the new music or the music that we're hearing today with like people like Sexy Red and you have some of the other artists who they're saying that you're listening to this music and it becomes murder music, right? And then you got that in your head and now you want to go out and kill, shoot, right? Do you think there's some truth to, and it's kind of a two-part question. Do you think there's some truth to that, which I'm sure all of us can agree, but do you also believe that people can say whatever they want to say, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the person is going to respond to it in that particular way, so to speak, if that makes sense?
Yeah. I love the question because I think it's the question is about the validity of, the spells.
Right.
So I'll answer the first question, right? Which was, it is true. Right, we grew up listening to all different types of stuff. I'm originally from North Carolina. I'm in DC now, but
Okay.
one of our favorite artists when I was growing up was like uh, the 504 Boys, right before they turned into Cash Money, 3-6 Mafia, Pastor Troy,
Yeah.
Crime Mob, Nuck If You Buck. You see what I'm saying? Like when you went to the club to fight, you ain't go to the club to fight listening to Joe or like Joe to see you put on Nuck If You Buck. Like that would start the fight.
Yeah,
There were
yeah.
music that you could play in the club that would start the fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you play sports, we was a 3-sport, I'm a young black boy from the hood, like we 3-sport athlete.
Right.
We had certain songs that we would play before we would hit the field or before we
sure.
would hit the court because this music would invigorate this aggressiveness in us to get stuff done. And so, yeah, of course, music sets the tone for everything. You know what I mean? And I'm not necessarily saying that people should be that influenced, but the truth is people are. Now, the other side of that is the validity of can people just say what they want to say? Is it just entertainment? Somebody asked Lauryn Hill one time, they said, Lauryn Hill, do you believe in the law of vibration? And her response was, does it matter if I believe in it or not? It's still working. So I tell people all the time, you ain't never seen Gravity. She ain't in your church. She ain't sitting in the back of your classroom. You ain't going to be able to call Gravity. But if you walk off a building, you're going to meet her. And so many people don't necessarily understand how that the laws of this place work. So they misunderstand the power that their voice has for themselves and for others. I just don't.
I like that, and I like that you brought that up, and I think this is an excellent transition to talk about you as an educator, right? And we have certain educators that actually use music to educate, right? And so there's one side of there's music that could potentially cause harm, but then there's music that could potentially cause creation, right? Can cause positive vibration. One of the things that we always utilize our platform for or talk often about is the arts, right? And how important that is for us. Music falls within that. The creators, the artists, people like yourself falls into that. And so what's the case for education and music and some of the things you do, because you've been, in the field with about 5, 6 years or something like that, correct? Is that correct? Or a little more?
You talking about the education?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, in total, probably 10.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, professionally, in some of the things that you do, what's your take on utilizing that platform to, educate the kids, educate the youth in turning what we know as a potential positive, negative into a positive?
I mean, yeah, I think like I have direct stories to answer this, right? So I'm gonna give you one of the realest stories I had is
We want it.
I'm actually teaching math at the time. I was teaching math in DC at middle school math, 8th grade math. And I had a student who came in, and my first 15 minutes of every class had to be your warm up. And normally, like I'm very, I have great classroom management. So normally when the students come in, I check all that at the door, put them headphones up, everything, get right to work so you can get ready. But I had a student who didn't do it one day. Like, and it's not that I told him. I just wanted to see if he was going to check himself. I wanted to see if he was going to self-regulate, and he didn't. He spent the entire warm-up rapping. So before I stopped the warm-up, I pulled him to the back, and I was just like, Young, like, who you listening to? And he told me he was listening to, and I don't want to say no names. But he told me he was listening to, and I was like, yo, you was rapping that word for word. He was like, yeah, man, because such and such, because DC language, because he likes that, Mo. And I'm like, yeah, but you remember that word for word, but you have a hard time listening to the lesson. I'm remembering the lesson from yesterday. And his response, he said it again, like I said, because he likes that, Mo. And I could have allowed myself to be frustrated or irritated with him, but I didn't, because I heard him, right? When them students are forced to come to school, they're forced to come listen to teachers that may not relate to them, that may not have proven that they truly have care and interest for the kids, right? There's a saying that says you'll never know, the students will never care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
But I also say you'll never know how much they know until they know how much you care. Because our students are not absent of knowledge. They're not absent of hope. They're not absent of strategy, right? They've been having to navigate things that we don't always understand. So they have a lot of knowledge that we can take from them. And so I heard him. And what he told me was he pushes play on that artist. That artist is his biggest teacher because he chooses to listen. I call myself teacher, but until I activate the button that causes him to push play on my lesson, until I activate his heart, his mind, and his trust enough that he pushes play on my lesson, he ain't listening yet. And so hip hop artists, whether they believe it or not, a lot of them don't want to carry that level of responsibility, but they do because people willingly push play on their education. You got to think about something, man. Like I love Beyonce. She's meticulous. Like she's great, but Beyonce got like 380 some million followers and she only follows one person on Instagram. She got a cult, bro. Yeah. She's an educator. And whether she wants to receive that or not, they push play on her lessons.
Yeah, man. That's, see, you going down a rabbit hole here because I believe that, everything you're saying is accurate, and I think the problem is that you have people that don't want to bear that burden, right? You have people that saying, I'm not your, what they'll say, like, don't follow me, I'm not your hero, your parents, you follow your parents, and so is there a level of commitment or obligation someone has to have for their music, or is it just, look, I'm an artist and I do what I need to do with my artistry to make my bread, and that's all that I'm in it for?
I mean, the answer, I'm a well-rounded thinker. So the answer is there's space for all of that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's space for all of it. You know what I mean? I never want to be the type of person who's like, yo, your music got to be 100% positive because your life ain't 100% positive. You know what I mean? You end up going into the booth and telling the story that you experienced that day or that week or the year before. And I would love to tell these youth, man, go into the booth, man, and tell a story that's going to elevate and uplift and inspire somebody. Yo, but if you ain't got that story in you, where is it coming from? So I don't have no judgment I don't have no judgment for anybody who's telling their true story. If I had any judgment, it would be for those who have a different story, but actively choose to tell the one that they know they can get paid for.
I want to throw you a curveball,
Okay.
and I want to ask you, because there was this poll that went out with a couple people. Who would you say would be your top 5 best storytellers in music? And we can talk hip hop, yeah, let's stick with hip hop. But who would be your top 5 best storytellers of all time?
I love the question because it's directly related to who I listen to.
Right.
Hove is gonna be on my top 5.
Okay.
Nas is gonna be on my top 5.
Okay.
Storytellers.
Storytellers. Because we can,
really
and I'm gonna
get
let
that.
you think a little bit.
J. Cole gonna be on there for me.
Okay, yeah, there. I like Cole. Okay,
He's a storyteller.
yeah, for sure.
Kendrick is gonna be on there for me from Section 80 to Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick is consistently telling these stories about his life.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
All right.
King Von.
People don't know about King Von, though. Wow.
Oh, they do. Oh, these kids do.
Yeah, man. I like King Von. Look, that's
He's a
it.
storyteller. Like King Von is one of
Interesting.
those people who
Yeah.
he really, you know what I mean, his who he is as a person, his persona is changing the face of the street.
Yeah.
He's essential to me. He's the new Scarface, and I'm talking about Tony
Wow.
Montana
That's
Scarface. He's the new. You know how many black folks, especially in the hood or hustlers, grew up like, yeah, I want to be like Scarface.
Yeah, face man.
There's
Yeah,
a
face
bunch
man,
of kids right now growing up saying they want to be like King Von.
yeah. Interesting. That's dope. All right. So I want to ask you then, what? So we had a conversation. I'm not sure if you were on or was listening at that point. We were talking about, the Pooh Shiesties, right? The Black Lavas, right? And it was, we just passed, or they're talking about legislation here in Philadelphia with, passing a bill that, they're going to make them illegal to wear in Philadelphia, right? No more face masks, no more, ski mask in Philly.
I agree.
Yeah, okay. So I was going to ask you your take on that, because if we're talking about, there's an argument as it relates to self-expression and who and what demographic does that target, and then it's the other conversation that's like, no, it's about safety, X, Y, and Z. So I would love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, I got a few different takes on that. But look, I hate to put certain stuff in the universe, but it is what it is at this point, right? The kid's gonna say it, right? No face, no case. So that's one side we got to consider. No face, no case. And that's a direct King Von line too. No face, no case. I think they got so used to like being covered up during the pandemic that, before the pandemic, you couldn't walk into no store with your face covered because automatically they calling the cops.
Yeah.
Now you can walk around all day with your face covered because covering your face became the norm. But there's so many different sides to that, right? Because the kids, the youngins, the folks who are out here who are about that life, they're covering up. Their face is covered because they know no face, no case. But then kids who aren't necessarily about that life are covering their face too, because if you don't know who I am, I'm safer. Right? There's a safety. That mask ain't just for like COVID safety for them. For now, it's like, yo, if you don't know who I am, I'm more likely to get through this particular place without being harmed, because right, internet beefs, neighborhood beefs, you don't know who I am. And I know that because I was on a school bus on a field trip a couple weeks ago with some high school kids, taking them to this program. And the kid is we on a field trip with the school, and the kid got his mask on the bus. And I ain't even want to just check him and be like, man, take that off. I just wanted to talk to him about it. So I asked him, I said, why do you have that on? And his response was like, bruh, we got too many different beefs out here, and I don't need people to be recognizing me without me being able to like recognize. So I really wear it for safety. But at the same time, right, another perspective is like, I'm a grown man. I got a daughter. I'm 14. You know, my daughter 14. I got a family. I don't know how old you are, and I don't know what you got on your back, on your chest, or what chip you got on your shoulder. But if you walk up to me in the middle of the night, especially at a gas station, if you get close to me and I don't know who you are with a mask on, don't give me a reason to protect myself.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because
No,
I don't want to have to. And it ain't gangster. It's like, bro, you want
nah.
to be safe. I want to be safe too. Like you don't look safe.
Yeah, all great points, and it points to both sides, right? Because all sides are relevant, and I think it's important for people to recognize that both things can be right. It's not always just one side, right?
Right.
It's just everything can be accurate. It's just what is better for, I guess, the community at that point, right? With Great Care LLC, CEO.
Yeah.
We got to jump into that. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. With great care, simply says we don't just strive to do great things. We strive to do all things with great care, purpose, and intention. It really started as a social movement, not as a business. We moved it. It started as a social movement like 2013. Me and my team, we moved it into being a business in 2016 and trying to figure out how to really spread the idea. But the concept really comes from, right? I'm assuming everybody. I don't know your nationality, but I'm gonna make an assumption that everybody here is black,
100%.
right? And growing up in America, we know what it feels like to be part of systems that didn't do their due diligence to be excellent for us, even if those systems were ran by black folks. Like we've seen it. We've been in countless. We've been in. If you're black in America, you've seen countless situations, whether it's the educational system or the penal system, even the healthcare system, where people are doing things, but they're not doing it with the intention of really serving. Like there's a level of excellence that's missing. There's a level of like, human responsibility that's missing because there might be something else more important, like bottom lines or dollars or, how much, people are getting paid. So with great care is really like, listen, we're done with the life and belief that I need somebody else to be subservient to me, that I need someone else to be in poverty, or that I need someone to be in difficulty for me to win. We're not building any of this off the backs of others. We are building this with the hands and the hearts of people. So this idea of like doing things with great care is just simply saying like, know what you do, know why you do it, and then do it in a way in which what you do has a long-term benefit for the people with it that have to be addressed by it or who it touches. And that even goes back to the music. Like we're not just here to make money. We're here to make money while our people get better.
Yo, that's heavy. That sounds like We Talk Weekly. That sounds like our purpose here.
Look,
Kudos
y'all
to you,
y'all
my
doing
friend.
it with great care, man.
There you
know what I'm
go. There
saying?
you go. Kudos to you. So, before I let you go, because we gotta hear something from you. We can't let you go without hearing something. But I do want you to tell people what's some of the things that we can expect from you. What's the latest that you have, coming up, and then go through your mental Rolodex and give us something that you can leave us out with.
A special question.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you were.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But I do want you to answer that question, and I'll go with my special question. Go ahead, my brother. Yeah.
For sure. What I got coming up. So I just released, man, my last project in July 12th, which is the official Working and Winning Day. So the project is called Still Working and Winning. It's part of a trilogy. It was my 5th album. I released 11 songs. There's a deluxe version of that project coming in spring this year. And I'm releasing singles, every month, man, just one to keep the algorithm going on the streaming sources, but also, man, just to keep fresh content for you all. So just stay connected in that. Me and my partners here in DC, man, are doing a lot of community work just to help the youth understand, especially the young creators in the city, understand that, like, so many of these kids like want to make it out of DC because of the difficulty they may face growing up. But we're also like, listen, you got to understand you're in one of the most powerful cities in the world. You can make it here. There's a lot that you can do. So we're doing work around that. But on the music side, man, just stay tapped in. The deluxe version, which will be 17 tracks, is coming out in the spring. And I'm just putting music out to give y'all that goodness. You said you want something, so I say,
You know we do.
this is one of my favorite verses actually from the product. It say, you want to win, you got to level up. That's a different seed to sow. Pick your shovel up. And it's sad to say, people leaving you was a savage play, but you'd be lost if they had their way. So let them leave. There's bigger things to achieve, homie. Can't have no weeds around your seeds. Nah. All that frustration and pain ain't no need. Nah. They can't believe in what you see if they can't see. You can meet God on your knees, player, but can't be God on your knees, player. So stand tall, catch a breeze, player. If they blow off, they was leaves, player. If they blow off, they was leaves. I can't imagine where I'd be if I ain't go through this. 10 months in the dirt, I had to grow through this. Situated plans for a new beginning. Tested all faith, still working and winning. Yo, it take time, but it's worth the grind. They're by any means necessary state of mind. Win some, lose some, ain't no straight lines. Clean here, but you dirty cross some state lines. But you risk it though. Got a dream and a vision that you risk it for. You don't sway back and forth when the wind blow. Take a loss, but that's give go. You get it back if you just run the flow. Stay motivated, homie. You working and winning, that's elevation, homie. They playing with checks, testing your patience. You finally realize what God's grace is and his greatness. Familiar faces become distant faces. You ain't seen them, you don't remember faces. Feeling alone, but your grind heavy. Yeah, like flood waters rushing behind levees.
Ah, man.
Nice.
What?
Yes.
Keep them weeds away from them seeds, player.
That was
One of my favorite joints, y'all. You know what I mean? You can meet God on your knees, but can't beat God on your knees.
wow.
Oh,
So stand tall, catch a breeze. If they blow off, they was leaves.
Yes.
Fire.
Let them go.
Absolutely.
Let them
Yes,
go, let them
absolutely,
go.
absolutely.
Oh man, I like that one
That
right
was
there.
fire.
Yeah, so kudos to you, my friend. All right, so this is the question that they want me to ask.
Special
you, man.
question.
Yeah. So check this out, right? One of the things that we always say is, once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show. So, you're always welcome to come back. So we going to talk. So shout out to Leslie Logan in the building. Shout out to her, man, because she's a friend to the show, and we hold Leslie down, and she talked a lot about just kind of like amplifying those people, and she knows about our platform, right? And so we got to have you come on our New Year's wrap up, man. Give us your top 10, things of 2023. So we're going to shout out to your PR. Make sure you get down on that,
Okay.
give us your top 10. But real quick, one of the things I ask is, what's the one thing that no one else knows about you? So you gotta dig deep in that bag, pull out that pen, and tell us the one thing that no one else knows about you, even like, your partners out there, one thing no one else knows about you that you could tell us today. Exclusive.
Dang, that's so hard because I'm an open book.
That's what they all say. They all say.
I try to live a very authentic life.
That's
man.
what they all say. It's one thing you got in the tuck though that you that little tooth that you had under the pillow that no one
man,
knew
you
it fell out.
You asking for secrets and what you vulnerability. And,
We talk weekly, we talk.
I don't know, man. I think the one thing that people get misconstrued is I'm 6'5", 240 pounds. It could be, but what I need people to know is like I appreciate God for giving me the size.
Right.
Because it creates a level of safety for me and those around me.
Right.
But I'm really a very kind-hearted person. Man. That's the truth. I want you to know. I don't.
Giant.
Yeah, I used to cry as a kid when my sister got whoopings because I couldn't hate.
that
I
was
hate to see her
me.
hurt. I hate to see her hurt. So I don't like to see my people hurt. I don't like to see my people hurt. I don't like to hurt. Now, will I hurt if I have to? But I don't like to see people hurt.
What's your sign?
Capricorn,
Capricorn.
December 30th.
Oh, birthday coming up.
Oh yeah, your birthday
Oh,
coming.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you. There you go. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that one right there. It's coming up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you, my friend. Is there anything that you want to tell the people? How can they get in contact with you? All that good old stuff. One last words. Get some inspiration stuff. Something that the people so they can leave with.
Yeah, I'm once, first and foremost, I want to say thank you again to y'all for having me here.
For sure. For sure.
Super dope how you all are using your platform with great care. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And how y'all are talking about real issues. But you should side, it's the branding everywhere. Whatever platform you use, just do you should side. You can see it on the screen. But it's at YUSHA ASSAD. You should side. Stay tapped in. Follow, like them posts. Comment on those
That's right.
posts, share those posts. If you see something from me that you like, and you like, man, this brother need to be out there, put me out there. You know what I mean? The best marketing is word of mouth. And it's going to depend on you being like, yo, I like this brother and more people need to know about him. So just tap in that way. But other than that, man, I love y'all. There's something really grand and great coming for us as a people. It's just time. There's a promise available for all of us. So the project is called Working and Winning the Promise. And I tell people the promise is here and it's coming. So get your right, get your soul, get your spirit, get your energy right so you can receive what's yours.
For sure, for sure. You know what, bro? I'm gonna make sure that we gonna play your music. We gonna play your stuff on the air. We gonna make sure that we get you in, man. On WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk here in Philly, man. And we do what we do here, man. And anytime you come back, you're a friend to the show, man. So we're gonna make sure that you're always welcome. You can come down, anything you got dropping, let us know, and you make sure that we'll get it out there all day. But thanks for coming to the show, my friend. And again, tell your people we got you. You love is part of the show, and we can't wait to have you back on the show, my friend.
Yeah, that's love, man. Bless y'all.
Peace.
Peace, king, peace, queen. Blessings.
We talk weeklies after the talk with WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and a beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and a beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and a beautiful
Lady Estizzle.
and my God. You should side.
You should side. Yeah.
Hold up, look, real quick. I do got a quick question. I'll be remiss if I didn't ask you this.
Sure.
Where does the name come from? What does it mean? What's the meaning behind the name?
Yeah, Yusha is actually Arabic for Joshua. So my father was a Baptist minister. He named me Joshua. I changed my name to Yusha.
There you go.
And then Asad means lion, protector of family. Somebody gave me that name.
There you go. As it should. Let's go. Well, that's an excellent transition. We'll be right back after this. My God, stay tuned in. Stay locked. Keep it locked. We'll be right back, y'all.
What's going on, you guys? This is Bridget Kelly, and you are locked into We Talk Weekly.
We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and a beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and a beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and a beautiful.
Lady
And you already know what's coming up next. You ready for me?
I'm ready.
All right, give it to me early.
All right, so make sure you guys follow We Talk Weekly on all social media platforms, major podcast platforms. You want to support what we do even further, you can make a donation on that Cash App to $ We Talk Weekly. All right, y'all, let's get into the sizzle. So, Beyonce once said, "My mama was a savage. I got this itch from Tina." Well, Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, went savage on people, accusing Beyonce of skin lightening and wearing platinum hair, wanting to be white. So Beyonce appeared at the opening of her Renaissance World Tour concert film on the chrome carpet with the silver themed ensemble. So everything was silver. But Tina expressed her disgust from these little comments that was floating around in a lengthy Instagram post. So Tina explained she does a film called The Renaissance where the whole theme is silver, with silver hair, a silver carpet, and suggested silver attire. And you bozos decide that she's trying to be a white woman and is bleaching her skin. Duh, she wore silver hair to match her silver dress as a fashion statement, clown. So for Tina, the kicker came when she got a phone call. So Tina said, what's really sad is that a white woman from TMZ had the audacity and I'm gonna just put it in Charlemagne's words, the caucasity to reach out.
Michael, somebody turn my mic on. I can't even talk about the caucasity of it. No doubt.
To reach out to Neil, who is Beyonce's hairstylist, to say that the fans are saying she wants to be white and she wanted to get a statement about it. Well, apparently Miss Tina said enough is enough, and she closed out her rant with, "I am sick of you losers. I know that she is going to be pissed at me for doing this, but I am fed up. This girl minds her own business. She helps people whenever she can. She lifts up and promotes black women and underdogs at all times." So shout out to Tina Knowles. She went into Mama Bear mode. I cannot blame her.
I was just about to say Mama Bear.
Yes, because let somebody mess with my youngin', okay? I'm going all the way off. All right, so Meek Mill, he low-key calls out President Joe Biden as a liar for claiming that there are trucks pulling up to the curb and selling weapons and AR-15s in Philly and New York City. So Biden had made these remarks at the National Safer Community Summit at University of Hartford back in June 2023. So, Meek Mill posted a clip of Biden's remarks on social media where Biden stated, quote, in most cities down in Philadelphia and New York, areas I know well, like up here, you see a truck pull up to the curb and selling weapons, selling guns, selling AR-15. Selling weapons. Well, guess what? You know that now. You do that now, you go to jail. So this is Biden's comments that he's making at the summit. So Meek Mill called those comments into question when he posted the clip of him saying that, along with a quote, and he said, "Gotta be the army pulling up with trucks of guns in Philly. That's not true unless he knows something we don't." So this isn't the first time that Meek called out the president. Meek has been a staunch advocate for criminal justice reform. He collaborated with several rappers, including Drake, Quavo, and 2 Chainz, and sent a letter to Biden urging him to pardon nonviolent cannabis offenders who are still locked up in the prisons in the United States. But Meek is definitely not afraid to hold Biden's feet to the fire, especially when it comes to his city. So Meek is like, he gotta be talking about the army pulling up with trucks.
So
guns.
Biden said that, and what Trump say about Philly? So now we got
in Philly. Yeah.
So now we got both of them
Exactly.
coming for Philly in a bad way.
Exactly. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. The celebrity sizzle of the month goes to, I feel like she's always winning. She is always winning. Ciara. She has teamed up with the Black Girl Code to get black girls engaged in coding. I think
What's your problem, sis?
this is so cute. But the nonprofit Black Girls Code has announced a collaboration called Build a Beat Challenge with Ciara. According to the announcement, Black Girls Code and Goldie Blocks invite all youth ages 13 to 18 to code a song for a chance to meet superstar Ciara and win cool tech prizes. So all participants will start the challenge by accessing the 5 Code a Song tutorial videos, which they created, the Black Girls Code, and they'll teach you how to make music using the Python programming language. Okay. You'll also have a cheat sheet to guide you step by step through the process. The top 10 finalist songs will be sent to their celebrity judges, which includes Ciara, MC Lyte, and there's a couple others, who they will choose the winner of the prize based on effort and originality, code complexity, and code clarity. So the grand prize winner will get a video call with Ciara and Adele music production laptops. So all students, parents, and tech programs, you have to motivate these young girls to enter this contest. So you can go to wearebgc.org to enter the contest. So I just think that's so cute, especially a way to get, young girls into coding. I know they be pushing it on the guys, tech. And that's just, it's women in tech and young girls in tech. So I'm
definitely encouraged.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Like, I love that. I'm your girl, Lauren Sizzle, and that was the Sizzle.
And that was Sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gregg with the beautiful,
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful,
Classy lady
and the beautiful.
Lady Esther.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a fan of Sierra at all, but that right there, I give it a round of applause. for.
I was wondering what
I'm
your
not
response
a fan of
was.
her at all. I'm not a fan, but like you gotta give
She
give
always
flowers when it's
her-
done.
her
Like
breasts
Her
are
as a
always
person
doing
or her
something.
music?
no, I mean
I always have to ask that question.
it's because some of her music is great, and she can dance. You know, it's a lot of people that act like they can dance and really can't.
Yeah,
she can.
She can.
But
But
it's some ways that she moved that I ain't a fan of, right? And then try to qualify it. But I'm gonna just say that this is amazing. This is amazing because, you know how much we in art and support of Sting, and when you talk about like tech and writing code is a form of engineering, and so if you know anything about Python and we talk a little bit about NFTs and we talk about the blockchain and we talk about creating certain stuff and that's amazing and women in tech I think I'm a huge supporter in they have been probably they're probably the last in the running so to speak or entering the tech space. I think I could be wrong. I probably have to look up some stats about that, but it needs to be more of them. It needs to be more of you guys in that space. And even when it comes to black guys, like, we're not, I mean, if you want to look at Silicon Valley, it's not like we really present in there. I mean, so just the tech space in general, we need more BIPOC.
Yeah, I think when you
people.
when you think of terms of like and down the line, leveling the playing field
right.
for our young people that's like, our Gen, what is it? Z
Gen Zers, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you
Gen Z
have
and
to,
Gen A.
yeah,
Gen A.
you
Yep.
have to expose them to things like this because especially when you got kids thinking like the only way out of quote unquote the hood or whatever, or the only way to be successful is rapping, playing sports and other things. There's so many different things now that is huge and like is projected to be one of those careers that you can get into where you can make a lot of money and be successful and well off. You got like, cyber security is now one of the huge fields. So it's like you gotta open your minds to stuff like that. And because if you don't tell them, they're not gonna know. They're gonna think whatever they're doing right now. So
I don't know how I knew, but I swear I feel like every area of my career that I've been in since very young, I was always either the only woman and sometimes the only black woman in the room. And there have been times I've been in those rooms and I look around and I've said, how did I get here? But then later it was more, because almost like you don't think you match up or you're worthy, right? So because we feel like we always have to work extra harder to be where they are. But then my mindset changed more to what you're saying now. It's like maybe it's the lack of education, you know what I mean, of our women or youth knowing what options are out there for them. And so I felt like I needed to be an advocate to push some of those other things. Like, hey, do you know about this? Do you know about that? Do you know you can do these things? Because I used to be like, why am I the only woman here? Do girls not like this stuff? But I don't think it was that at all.
So I'm pulled up this little chart right here, and it kind of explain what the generations are. They got a silent generation, but you got the baby boomers, 1946 to 1964, Generation X, 1965 to 1980, Millennials, 1981 to 1996, the Zoomers or Generation Z, 1997 to 2012, and this is what I was talking about, Generation Alpha, 2010 to mid 2020s, and pretty much that's like 10-year-olds, pretty much, and pretty much what that is are the kids that's growing up with cell phones, period. Like, soon as they come out to shoot, they're in everything digital, everything technological, right? And what we have to understand, especially when we talk about, who we are and how we're dealing with certain things, we have to operate on their frequencies, right? Because a lot of the information that we're giving is the information of the age that we came out of, right? And so if we're telling someone like, the generation, what's that, Generation X, that they need to get off the phone, or Generation Z, that they need to get off the phone, then it's kind of like, well, what are you talking about? This is how I grew up. But we're coming from a position of, well, when I was your age, I didn't have a phone. Well, that was a completely different generation. It's like the generation that preceded us. Well, we walked to school.
The baby boomers.
Yeah, the baby
Yeah.
boomers, right? And so we have to just understand that when we talking to whatever generation, we have to come from a perspective of where they came out of.
Now, when
Right.
you're talking about talking to kids that's playing video games, you're like, get off them games. You know how much they make in esports? What?
Yeah, but that's
It's
where they're
the-
coming out of,
right.
right? And so that goes back into when I talk a lot about NFTs and even AI, and that's the generation that we're in. And if you don't get on it, you're going to get left out. It's
Pass
not
by.
going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you how serious this AI thing is. It's not going anywhere. And what it's doing is growing exponentially.
Yes.
So if you're upset or mad that that's the age that we're in, and you fell or believe that you shouldn't get into it, well, guess what? Now it already grew exponentially, and you're still stuck below exponentially, so to speak, right? And that's as easy as I can put it without going down a rabbit hole. So jump on the train, or get left out. Go ahead.
And LinkedIn says one of the top 5 jobs is like now. Number 2 is digital content creator.
See?
Who would have thought that
Digital content
10 years ago?
top job. That's the top job.
Yeah.
What's number one? What's the top? It's how many? One or what?
They got 10.
So give me
They
your
have
10 real quick. We got a quick time. Go through
Number
them real
10
fast.
is mental health professional. Number 9, esports professional.
Hmm.
Number 8, remote work specialist. Number 7 is user experience, UX designer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, social impact consultant.
Hmm.
Number 5, app developer.
Mm.
Number 4, cybersecurity analyst. Number 3, health and wellness coach. Number 2, digital content creator. And number 1, sustainable energy specialist.
See that?
Wow.
See that?
All non-traditional, or the path that people don't normally take.
Exactly.
And none of those jobs are the jobs that we was
That
taught
they teach
that
us
they
to go
taught
for in school.
exactly.
And that's
When
my point.
Yes.
which goes to the point
Agreed.
of
Right.
generation is different. And so we have to understand what's going on in these generations, and we're there. I'm your boy Charles Gregg with the beautiful
Lawrence,
and the beautiful
Classy
and the
ladies
beautiful,
Lady S. Dizzle.
and we out, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
All right.